Now welcome, my dear friends. How did you spend your days? Now wonderful and rainy day. Are you okay today? I see the comments. Тәлім тағылымы мол, болашақ Қазақстанның жас ұстаздарына керемет мүмкіндік. Өте көп нәрсе алдық өзімізге. Тамаша, сәттілік тілейміз баршаңызға дейді. Рахмет. Слувай Батырова. Hello, have a successful day. Так, өте мазмұнды керемет видео болды дейді кеше. Now answer my questions. Are you productive or receptive today? Are you ready to listen and catch my information? Are you ready? Now what about your feelings today? Естіліп тұр ма? Менің даусым естіліп тұр ма? Даусым естіліп тұр ма? Жаса қойыңдар. Даусым жай емес пе? Жақсы ма бәрі? Айнагүл, рахмет, жақсы естіліп тұр дейді. Now what about my voice? It's okay? It's very useful information for us. Thank you. You will proud of you. And I took a lot of information. Now thank you. The sound is nice today. Oh, Gulnara Dusengalieva, my active learner. Gulnara Dusengalieva is my active learner. My personal and active and creative learner. Now, are you ready? We left only 2 minutes. Now what about your feeling? How did you provide your days? Now what about the yesterday's session? Слувай Батырова. Yesterday I was not able to attend property due to bad weather and outages. I think that everything will be fine today. I see. I wish you a creative day. Nazgul Qismetova. Good day, everybody. Good luck, everyone. No, thank you. I wish you the best day for every person. Now it's high time. Now I feel very well because we have chance to take some information and share each other's. It is very Georges. Ақтоты Асанқызы. No, thank you. Thank you, Ақтоты. Қайырбек Аманғалиев. Good day. Единственный мужчина в селе. I'm so happy that you are here. Now let me start today's session. Be ready to write your ideas and commentary, creative commentary. I'll waiting. Okay? Now good luck every person. Так, саламатсыздар ма, құрметті әріптестер. Бүгінгі сабақтың тақырыбы тілді меңгерудегі қабілеттілік және өнімділік, тілдік дағдыларды біріктіру қағидалары. Яғни кешегі сабақтың жалғасы. Productive and receptive language skills. Principles of language skills integration. We discussed this theme yesterday. Now let's continue today this theme once more. It is another. The aim of today's session is support course participants with the opportunity of differentiate productive and receptive language skills and to develop them through active learning methods. Now their objectives. The first, identify productive and receptive language skills. The next, develop language skills through active methods. Now leading idea, English teacher has to differentiate productive and receptive language skills and to develop them through active learning methods. Now we have some problem. Not all teachers can apply effective strategies of teaching and learning appropriate to their pedagogical situation in developing productive and receptive language skills. Now keywords on this session: effective teaching, effective learning, active learning, and the productive skills and the receptive skills. Also, the difference between productive and receptive skills may seem obvious. They require very different approaches when preparing for the IELTS exam. Of course, one of the best ways to prepare for the IELTS is to use past tests to familiarize yourself with the topics commonly found on the test. However, that should not be the only method used during your preparation. A real-life situation can be invaluable to build and hone your skill set. First, do a self-diagnosis. What's your strength in your first language? You must underline it. Are you an avid reader, or maybe your friends tell you what a great listener you are? Alternatively, you may be the life of the party with the ability to talk to anyone. Do you love to write, or write a lot for work or school, and find that an effective way to express yourself and communicate? Most people gravitate to either receptive or productive skills, and it may be related to whether you identify as more or an introverted and extroverted person. Regardless of your skill level, try to be honest with yourself and consider how your skill set in your first language may follow you into learning and practicing English. Now, productive skills. Productive skills. These include speaking and writing, the production of language. Overall, it's easier to receive feedback from others about your productive skill set. Whether you take an IELTS preparation course, working with your tutor, or just interacting in English in your daily life, you can easily tell if those you are communicating with can or cannot understand you. Speaking and writing are the skills that are more visible to others and as a result may be easier to address and practice with support from teachers, friends, or colleagues. A more extroverted person will likely feel more comfortable speaking in their first language, and over time, this ease of communication will become apparent in the additional language you use. Now the next, receptive skills. Reading and listening are the skills we use to receive information. This makes it inherently more difficult to receive feedback from others. We will come with a filter that the information we receive passes through. This filter is informed by our age, background, education, and life experience. We have personal interest areas, curiosities, and expertise. Receptive skills, also known as passive skills, or reading and listening, are often contrasted with the productive skills, speaking and writing. When learning a new language, learners tend to develop their receptive skills first and then acquire productive capability. It's a complex relationship between the two as they all play a supporting role with developing other skills. Now, for example, reading skills can be supporting factor to the development of writing, whereas listening can improve speaking fluency. Developing receptive skills can be particularly challenging, especially when communicating with a fluent or native speaker. Also, starting a conversation may be done with a relative ease. Maintaining one poses greater challenges. Most likely learners may not recognize features of connected speech or idiomatic language which may lead to an unsuccessful interaction. The key difference between listening and reading is that when learners listen to information, they have much less support than when they are working with a written word on the page. Listening requires a real-time processing of language, and once the message has finished, there is no easy way to go back and check for meaning as there is during reading. The best way to improve receptive skills is from exposure, whether from an enjoyable, authentic text or quality ESL text for book. Now, for example, television, music, books and magazines are great ways to build vocabulary while incidentally promoting learner autonomy. Course books can provide a basic scaffold and are adapted for a ESL learner, whereas authentic materials provide exposure to real language use. However, authentic materials can demotivate learners if the materials aren't apparently graded or applicable to their interests. It is an important consideration to choose material which isn't too difficult or easy, and also which relates culturally. So adaptation is an important consideration for teachers. Equally important are effectively starting and reading or listening lesson to maximize output. The below staging is an effective way to teach either a listening or reading lesson. Now, aspects of the progression shown in the productive and the receptive skills. Now, productive skills, speaking and writing. The outcome statement shows the progression in terms of content, organization and the communication strategies, a language, pronunciation, stress, rhythm and the intonation. Now, the writing, content, organization, language and style. Now, receptive skills are reading and the listening. The outcome statement shows the progress in terms of depth of progressing information, ideas and the feelings, text complexity, arrange and application of strategies. Language acquisition. Now, receptive language begins at 3 months, can read lips, 7 move, can segment spoken sounds into individual words, can listen to an unfamiliar language. A productive language starts around 4 months of age with babbling. Now, receptive skills, reading and listening, are also known as passive skills. In learning a new language, learners begin with a receptive understanding of the new forms, then later move on the productive use. Our receptive skills should naturally support productive skills. Now, integrating receptive and productive skills. The integrated lesson draws on the lexical approach, encouraging learners to notice language while reading, followed by activities involving the other 3 skills. As a result, teachers can potentially diversify methods and forms of classroom teaching and learning, improve learners' overall and specific language competence. Now, the next 2 forms of the integrated skill interaction. 2 forms of the integrated skill interaction. The first, content-based interaction. Content-based interaction. Content-based interaction. Students practice all the language skills in a highly integrated, communicative fashion while learning content such as science, mathematics, and social studies. Content-based language interaction is valuable at all levels of the proficiency, but the nature of the content might differ by proficiency level. At least 3 general models of content-based language interaction exist. The theme-based model integrates and the language skills into the study of a theme. The theme must be very interesting to students and must allow a wide variety of language skills to be practiced, always in the service on communicative about the theme. In the adjunct model, language and the content courses are taught separately but are carefully coordinated. In the sheltered model, the subject matter is taught in specialized English toilet to students' English proficiency level. Now the next, task-based interaction. In this interaction, students participate in communicative tasks in English. Tasks are defined as activities that can stand alone as fundamental units and that require comprehending, producing, manipulating, or interacting in authentic language while attention is principally paid to meaning rather than form. The task-based model is beginning to influence the measurement of learning strategies, not just the teaching of ESL and EFL. In task-based interaction, basic pair work and group work are often used to increase student interaction and collaboration. For instance, students work together to write and edit a class newspaper, develop a television commercial, enact scenes from a play, or take part in other joint tasks. Now, principles of language skill integration. Principle of integrating language skills. Now, skills are the building blocks and effective elements in the process of the language development. In order to make the comprehensive and complex process of language learning simple and effective, skills integration can be an integral part of the teaching language. Integrating language skills helps a language learner to develop their ability in using 2 or more of our 4 skills. For example, listening, speaking, reading, and writing in context and real-life situations. In language classrooms, skills need to be integrated and practiced. According to Hinkle, communication will be meaningful if it happens in integrated language skills, not through That is, communication does not run well if people use only one language skill at a time. Language skills should, therefore, also be integrated in the language teaching process and real life. In order to provide more focused and significant learning situations, teachers must integrate the four language skills while teaching and practicing the language. Now, principles of language skills integration. They are meaningful context we may pay attention, and the natural use of at least two language skills, one receptive and one productive. Listen and speak, read, and write. Now let's continue our theme with the video activity.
Hi, I'm Faye Moishant of Social Skills, here to teach you about body language basics. So many people say that your body speaks much more loudly than your words speak, and it has quite a bit of truth. It's really important that as you speak, you exhibit great body language. The most important aspects of your body language are number one, your shoulders, and where your shoulders are positioned as you speak to other people. So your shoulders could be like this, or they could be like this. And that slight change makes an enormous difference in what your body is saying about you. This little change could make me seem like I'm insecure or don't have much confidence, but moving my shoulders up changes the entire dynamic of how I'm coming across. Also, a really important part of your body language is your hands and what you're doing with your hands. Now, some people have a really hard time with what to do with their hands as they're speaking. If you have a hard time with it, what I suggest is if you're sitting, just putting your hands in your lap, or if you're standing, just making sure that they're at your sides or folded in front of you. A lot of people have a hard time with playing with things, with playing with bracelets, with playing with hair, fumbling with their pockets. So be aware as you speak next time of what your hands are doing. Where are your hands? Are they stationary? Or you can ask someone else to make this assessment for you. Have a conversation with them and ask them to keep an eye on where your hands are during the conversation. Another important element of your body language is the fact that you need to be standing still. So if you're moving during a conversation, that's going to give off the impression that you're nervous or that you're uncomfortable during the conversation. So be sure that you're standing stationary and that you're not moving around as you're talking. And your feet as you're talking. You don't want to be moving your feet around or lifting up your knee or moving your feet around. You want to make sure that those are stationary as well. The whole idea is that you don't want to distract someone while they're speaking or while you're speaking. Not only is it distracting, but it can make you come across as insecure, less than confident, or even uncomfortable during a conversation. You definitely don't want to give off that impression. So your body language speaks a great deal. You want to make sure that you have great body language as you're communicating and speaking with other people. It's probably one of the most important elements to making a good first impression.
Now let's continue our session with the practice work. You must do it individually. Now, leading individually. You say the words I, a nose, no one, the woman, like. Two approaches to presenting. Language. Two approaches to presenting language. Now answer the questions. What type of the housework do you do? What type of the housework do you do? What type of the housework do you like? The last question, what type of the housework do you hate? What type of housework do you hate? Now I'll give you some wait time. Now think, please. Now I'll support you with the pictures. What type of housework do you do? What type of housework do you like? What type of housework do you hate? Now, concept checking questions. Concept checking questions. Concept checking questions. Now make a list of the mini stages involved in this type presentation. Now I'll give you 5 minutes. Work individually. Make a list of the mini stages involved in this type presentation. Now let's continue. Have you finished? Now, establish meaningful context. Elicit target language. Check meaning. Provide natural model, finger count, contraction, drill, whole or individual. Provide further examples. Analyze established form. Provide written form. Establish meaningful context. Elicit target language. Check meaning. Provide meaning. Natural model, finger count, contraction. Drill whole individual. Provide further examples. Analyze established form. Provide a written form. Now, so next, make a grammar presentation using the inductive approach. It will be your home task. 20 minutes for preparation, 10 minutes for presentation. Okay, this individual work. You must use in your two approaches. Work individually. For preparation you will take 20 minutes, and for presentation you may take 10 minutes. Now let's continue our session with practice work. Now please review these phrases, check meaning, provide natural model, finger count contraction, establish meaningful context, provide a written form, elicit target language, drill oral individual, analyze establish form, provide further examples. Now I'll read these phrases once more. You must write in order, check meaning, provide natural model, finger count contraction, establish meaningful context, provide written form, elicit target language, oral and individual drill, analyze establish form, provide further examples. Now do you remember? I'll read the last time. Check meaning, provide natural model, finger count contraction, establish meaningful context, provide written form, elicit target language, drill oral and individual, analyze establish form, provide further examples. Now write in order your task. Have you finished? Let's check up. The first, established meaningful context. The next, elicit target language. The third, check meaning. The next, provide natural model, finger count contraction. Drill oral and individual. Provide further examples. Analyze establish form. And the last, provide a written form. You must, at home, compose these stages. Purpose, reason for position in the stages. Okay? It will be your home task, this practice workshop. Now check up your in order writing practice work. First of all, after that, write here purpose, reason for position in the stages. Okay? Now, let's continue.
In this part, we're going to look at one way to teach a grammatical structure. This is a revision lesson, and the students have already had exposure to the structure being covered.
This is my friend, John. Is he happy or sad?
Sad. Why do you think he's sad?
He's got money.
He's got no money. No, he's got no money. He's very sad. Poor John. So, he buys, do you know what this is?
Lottery ticket.
Lottery ticket, well done. Yeah, it's a lottery ticket. What happens if you win the lottery? What are you? You're very
Rich.
rich. Now, John dreams of being rich. He dreams of being rich and all the wonderful things he can buy. Okay? In fact, this is one of them. Okay? We can say, if he was rich, he'd buy a car. If he was rich, he'd buy a car. Everyone?
If he was rich, he would buy a car.
Okay. He would,
He'd.
he'd. If he was rich, he'd buy a car.
If he was rich, he would buy a car.
Good.
If he was rich, he'd buy a car. If he was rich, he'd buy a car. If he was rich, he'd buy a car.
Very good.
If he was rich, he'd buy a car.
If he was rich, he would buy a car.
Okay. He would, he'd
Buy a car.
Okay, again.
If he was rich, he'd buy a car.
If he was rich, he'd buy a car.
Excellent. Okay. And a boat. Now the teacher uses other picture prompts and, as before, the students repeat the new sentence as a class and individually. This gives the students further practice of the structure. Is he going to be very rich? Is it likely?
No.
No. Is it unlikely?
Yes.
Unreal or unlikely or a dream? Okay. Now, can you ask me the question about what I'm...
What would you do if you were rich?
Yeah, very good. Stay with buy because we're using buy. Okay.
What would you buy if you were rich?
Good. I'd buy a car. Okay. Anna, can you ask me?
If you were rich, what would you buy?
Good. Good. Very good. Okay. What would you buy if you were rich?
I would buy a car.
Excellent. I would. I would.
I'd buy a car.
Excellent.
If you were rich, what would you buy?
I'd buy a castle.
Good.
If you were rich, what would you buy?
This is John's girlfriend. She has different ideas about what she would do with the money. It's always the way. Okay. She doesn't want to keep the money. She'd give it away to charity, okay? And she's giving it to charity, so would she buy a car? No. Let's have the negative all together.
If she was rich, she wouldn't buy a car.
Good. And would you buy a castle?
No.
Okay.
If she was rich, she wouldn't buy a castle.
Very good. Okay, we're just going to write it on the board. Okay, so you have something to take away. Can you give me the positive sentence, the first one that we had?
If he was rich,
Okay.
he'd buy a castle.
And are these real or unreal situations?
Unreal.
Unreal, okay. And does anyone know the name of the structure?
Second condition.
Second conditional. Okay, so it's second conditional and it's formed like this, and we use it to express unreal or unlikely situations or dreams. We've concluded the presentation of the structure and ensured that students are comfortable with the form and meaning. Now we'll go on to practice the structure with controlled and free practice activities. In here I've got some mixed up sentences, okay? They're conditional sentences with a question and an answer, okay? What you have to do is put them in the correct order, okay? So this is yours. That's one sentence. It's two sentences. Okay, so in your groups you can talk in your groups about what you would buy if you were rich or what you wouldn't buy, okay? Just compare. What would you do if you were rich? What would you buy? Okay, you can just move to...
What would you buy? Big house in my country.
What
Big
would
house
you buy?
in Spain.
I wouldn't buy.
Oh. Here we've got some interesting situations, okay, for you to discuss, okay, what you would do. For example, the first one is, what would you do if you saw your boyfriend or girlfriend's diary left open? Okay, so what would you do? Would you be honest and walk away? What would you do? Would you be tempted? Would you read it?
Yes.
So definite. Yes.
Very curious.
Would you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't read it?
I would.
You wouldn't read it.
Oh.
What if you knew that they would never find out?
Oh, so your name? No, I don't think I could.
You wouldn't?
No.
Yeah?
I would.
Okay, this is the interesting thing. What I'd like you to do, there's some more questions like that on here, okay? What I want you to do first is write your answers, okay? Write your answers about what, in full sentences if you can, okay? About what you would do, first of all. And then you're going to compare in a group your answers, okay? Okay, if you've finished, just talk together to compare your answers.
Aha. Now, friends, let's discuss with the commentary, through the commentary. What was the theme today's session? The first question. What are the language skills? What are the language skills of today's session? Now the next question. What was the aim of today's session? Now the next. So next, what skills have you learned through today's session? Now what about their differentiation? how do you differentiate these skills, these language skills? What integrate skill instructions do you know through this session? Okay? I'll open. There are many. There are many comments. Ага. Ага, а кто-то Санкоза writes. Thank you, Шимсанесовна. Today's session, I think that was very best session for us. Because we understand now what is it receptive and productive of it. Now Ахтота Санкоза writes. There are differences each others, but they have some useful parts for us. We use the materials in our lessons because we must to grow every day. Our emotions are very so brilliant. Oh, thank you. Creative commentary. Ахтота Санкоза writes, I hope you will provide a lot of sessions for our teachers. We have a chance to listen and we will take and analyze it. We will know receptive and productive in writing and speaking habits. Very nice commentary. Now Sluay Batyrova writes, as a young specialist who has just recently started working, I gained very important knowledge. Thank you for helping me become a productive teacher in the future. Super. Да-да. Сусын хабарласам мен занятымын. Axel writes, body language helps us to get your necessary message across. Let students know that you want to create sportive, productive learning environment. Super. Так, Sluay Batyrova writes, as a young specialist who has just recently started working, I gained very important knowledge. I'll read. Так, Axel writes, yes, agree. Effective teachers use body language to communicate with students, build rapport with them, and make them feel safe and supported. Thank you. Now, Axel writes, body language helps you get your message across. Let students know that you want to create a sportive, productive learning environment. Now Sluay Batyrova writes, establish meaningful context, elicit target language, check meaning, provide natural model, finger count contraction, drill, oral, individual, provide further She writes in order this task. Super. Айсуру Гатау writes, the theme is the conditional, the second. Rayhan Aslıbekovna writes also body language. Nazgul Kismetova writes, I will take many useful information. We will learn no receptive and productive in writing and the speaking skills. It helps in the future our lessons. Rayhan Asılbekovna writes, body language shows us students' mood and feelings. Now what about your practice size workshop? Which I'll give you. Now, I think you are tired. Now I'll give you 5 minutes for break. Have a break, please. Have a break. I'll give you 5 minutes. After that, we would continue. Now Aydana Karimova writes, this lesson is useful for us. Thank you very much. Now have a break. No. Now, where are you, my learners? Let us continue our session. Are you here? Are you here? Now let's continue our session. I'm waiting for you. Так, начнем с видов сочинений, которые встречаются в IELTS. Всего их 4. Бұны да біздің ағылшын тілі пәнінің мұғалімдері өте жақсы білу керек. Мен өзім IELTS тапсырдым. Білемін, IELTS тапсыру өте қиын екен. Сондықтан да соның методикасы қандай. Сонымен сіздерге таныс болуларыңыз керек. Және ағылшын тілі пәнін таңдаған оқушыға нұсқаулық беруге, дұрыс нұсқаулық беруге және мектеп базасында да эссе жазуға үйрету. Соның методикасы. Соның қандай түрлері болады екен. Соны қазір дискассинг будем делать. Окей? На всего их 4. The first, expressing opinions. О вашем мнении. Advantages and disadvantages. Достоинства и недостатки. The third, providing solutions. Решение каких-либо проблем. The fourth, discursive essay, где вас просят рассмотреть определенную тему в разных точках зрения. Давайте приведем таблицу в качестве иллюстрации. Argumentative essays. Так. Мен курсқа келген тыңдаушыларымның барлығына айтып жүрмін. Эссенің жаңағы құрылымын. The structure of the essays. Now, first of all, it will be introduction. Now, what is the introduction? Expressing opinions. State opinion. Now, advantages and the disadvantages. State topic. And as the next, providing solution. State the problem. And the last, discursive, assess state topic. Now the next stage, main body. Argument, one and the reason. Advantages, arguments for. Suggestion, one and the reason. One point of view, for example, political. The next, argument to and the reason. Disadvantages and arguments against. Suggestion to and a reason. Another point of view, for example, economic. Now the next, conclusion. Restating opinion using different words. Balanced consideration or your opinion without personal words. Summary or best suggestion and a reason. Your own opinion based on the points already mentioned. That is why essays divided into 3 stages. The first, introduction, main body, and at the end of your essay you must write conclusion. Do you remember? Introduction, main body, and the conclusion. Now, expressive opinions. Now what is it? Если в конце задания спрашивается, согласны ли вы или нет, или в какой степени вы согласны, do you agree or disagree, to what extent do you agree, то это сочинение должно быть полностью о вашем мнении. Во вступлении вы должны перефразировать тему задания, используя другие конструкции и синонимы, обозначить свое мнение и согласны вы или нет. Whilst academic, вам нужно будет еще добавить, в какой степени agree or disagree. Completely part leader. В последующих абзацах нужно доказывать, что ваше мнение верно, объясняя причины, давая наглядные примеры. В заключение от вас ожидает подведение итогов, но с использованием других слов-синонимов. Do you agree with me? Now remember? And now, the next advantages and the disadvantages. Данное сочинение должно быть более нейтральным. Конкретно. Ваше мнение здесь обычно не спрашивает. Вас просят проанализировать достоинства и недостатки чего-нибудь. Например, проживание в большом городе. Во вступлении вам опять следует также обозначить тему другими словами. Помните, что если вы используете те же слова, что в задании, вам их зачитывать не будут. Второй абзац можно посвятить и преимуществам, а третий – недостаткам. В заключение вы должны сделать вывод. Выразить свое мнение, но без strong language, то есть без сильной эмоциональной окраски. Hate, cannot stand, ну и так далее, etc. Значит, здесь должно быть сочинение более нейтральным. Так, the next, providing solutions. В задании обозначена проблема, и вас просят предложить решение для нее. В введении вам следует объяснить, почему это является проблемой, каковы причины и последствия. Во втором абзаце вы можете предложить первое решение и объяснить. Solve the problem. Solve the problem. After that, you must understand. Explain. Sorry. Как оно может помочь. How to help. Третий абзац рекомендуется посвятить второму альтернативному решению. Alternative. Solve the problem. Опять же с примерами. You must give the examples. В заключение выбрать лучшее решение. In conclusion, you must choose the best conclusion. Подвести итог и объяснение. Также возможно высказать свое мнение. You may give your opinion, your own opinion. Помогут ли это решение и как быстро? You choose how to solve this problem. Your opinion. Now the fourth. Discursive assess. Рассмотреть проблем с разных точек зрения. Например, финансирование исследований космоса с точки зрения политики, экономики и населения страны. Встречается Wireless Academic. Во вступлении формулируется тема с уточнением того, что многие люди оценивают ее по-разному. Во втором абзаце рассматривается проблема с одной точки зрения, скажем, политически, подкрепляя основной тезис, примеры и причинами. В третьем с другой, например, экономической точки зрения. В заключение вы можете поделиться своими мнениями. придерживаясь при этом нейтрально-официального стиля. You may share your experience and give your ideas. After that, you may support. We know through this slide types of the essays. They are expressing opinions, advantages and disadvantages, providing solutions, and a discussive essay. Now, argumentative essays divide into 3 stages or passage. The first passage, introduction. The next, main body. The last, conclusion. You must write conclusion. Expressive opinions you must give. The first of all. The second, advantages and the disadvantages. The third, providing solutions. And the last, discursive essays. Now let's continue our session with the activity Brain Breaks.
Healthy music for a child's heart, body, and mind.
Move and Freeze from the award-winning CD Brain Boogie Boosters by The Learning Station.
Come on, move and freeze. 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 Put your right hand on your left knee, your left hand on your right. Your knees move in and out, your hands stay tight. Now keep on with your moving, but switch hands on your knees. Keep on moving in and out till we say freeze. Come on, move and 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 freeze. Put one hand across your shoulder, one hand across your back. Now jump in place. Do you like it like that? Yeah! Now switch hands across your shoulders and switch hands across your back. Now just be nimble, just be quick, just like Jack. Come on, jump and freeze. 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 Everybody shake your body from your head down to your feet. And don't stop shaking until we stop the beat. Shake it to the east and shake it to the west. Shake it, shake it, shake it with my friends who are the best. Come on, shake and freeze. 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 Put your right hand on your head, your left on someone's knee. Now turn once in a circle and buzz like a bee. Now turn the other way, don't let go or lose your spot. Keep turning left, keep turning right until the music stops. Come on, turn and freeze. 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 All right, you can move now.
Riddle time! Which weighs more, 1,000 pounds of feathers or 1,000 pounds of bricks? Please let us know your answer in the comment section below. You can get Move and Freeze on Brain Boogie Boosters in CD or full CD download.
I know. Let's let's discuss the types of the eyes. You may write here, and it gives a how many types of the eyes we have learned in today's session. How many? Through the slide you 3 types. Nurshad Nigmalova, 3 types. Now what are they? Name it, please. Name it, please. Name it. Expressing opinions. О вашем мнении. The next. Nurshad Nigmalova answered that through these sessions she have learned 3 types of the essays. Yes, Rayhan Aslbekovna, there are 4 types of IELTS essays: expressive opinions, advantages and disadvantages, providing solutions, and discursive essay. Super, Rayhan Aslbekovna. You are brilliant. You are brilliant. Now, do you use in your practice? No. How do you divide essays? How are you going to write your, for example, in your future time essays? Darigha Khuanova writes there are 4 types. How do you divide? How are you going to write your essays? For example, first of all, or consists of, for example, 3 stages or passage. What are they? For example, introduction. So next, main body and conclusion. Do you agree with me? Am I right? First, introduction, main body, and conclusion. Слувай Батыре. Expressive opinions, advantages and disadvantages, providing solutions, discursive essays. I always use advantages and disadvantages essays. Discursive essays. Super, Sluvay Batyrova. Because you are practice teachers, through these commenters, I see that you are practice and creative teachers, and modern teachers, and updated teachers, I think. And mobile teachers. Darigha Khuanova. Answers: expressive opinions, advantages and disadvantages, providing solutions, and discursive essays. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Now the last question. Name the stages. How are you going to write essays in a future time? It consists, for example, introduction, main body, and at last conclusion. Do you agree with me? Do you agree? Yes, Gulnara Dusingaliyeva. 3 types of essays. Students must know how to write in order to learn various themes. We teach students to share own ideas and opinions. Dariga. Yes, Dariga Kwanwa writes the first introduction, main body, and the conclusion. Super. Sloya Batyrova writes introduction, main body, conclusion. Super. Super. Rayhan Aslubekovna writes introduction, main body, conclusion. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. I'm so happy. Gulsizim Saginova, we should follow the structure of an essay. Super. 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 Now let's continue. Let's continue our session. Let's continue our session. Let's continue our session. Now, developing learner language awarenesses and the use of English secondary classroom strategies. Language awarenesses, skills and the curriculum learning objectives. Now, language awareness. Discuss these contrasts in your own first language. Now, for example, I asked you to buy me a bunch of red roses. The next, I asked you to buy me a bunch of white roses. I asked you to buy me a bunch of red roses. The fourth is, I asked you to buy me a bunch of the white roses. The fifth is, I asked you to buy me a bunch of the white roses. The sixth, I asked you to buy me a bunch of white roses. The seventh, I asked you to buy me a bunch of white roses. The eighth, I asked you to buy me a bunch of white roses. No. The first sentence, John didn't ask, I asked. The next, I didn't demand it, I asked it. I didn't ask you, secretary, I asked you. I didn't ask you to steal flowers, I asked you to buy them. Now the next, I didn't ask you to buy the flowers for your mother, I asked you to buy them for me. I didn't ask you to buy me one white rose, I asked you to buy me a bunch of them. I didn't ask you to buy me a bunch of red roses, I asked you to buy me white roses. The last, I didn't ask you to buy me white lilies, I asked you to buy me white roses. This is contrasts in your own first languages. Now, teaching focuses are based around common errors, false friends, different forms of the potential analysis. Now Russian false friends. Date, LA, chef, camera, decoder, actual, balloon, fabric, brilliant, cartoon, accurate, bent. Now, L1 cognates. Discovering cognates between L1, L2 and L3 is part of the competence. Comparison and the contrast between L1, L2 and L3 is often a point of the departure towards the grasp of a form and the deepening of understanding of meanings and connotations. Connotation is the emotional and imaginative association surrounding a word. Now, for example, fungus is a scientific term denoting a certain kind of the natural growth, but the word also has certain connotation of disease and ugliness. Common rare words used when talking about language, curricula, and progression. Revisit, recast, reformulate, reinforce, revise, review, recycle. Recycle. Now, revisiting main meanings and the syntactic properties. Recasting change of mood can present more challenging and creative pathways through review processes. Importance of reformulation. A learner's ability to process and produce relaxations in speech and writing is critical to success in all skill strands of communicative curriculum, and the tasks based around reformulation should feature prominently in review processes. Now, grammar teaching activity focus. Grammar focuses context and the register, uses, function, form, notion, and meaning. What levels of knowledge does this activity involve? Now, for example, all year, all week, before New Year, during the party, the other day. For all year, before, after, still, all week, in July, ever, this week. Before New Year, lately, just never. During the party, recently, a few times, once. The other day, already, last, for ages. Find 3 words in a row that fit each gap. Now, for example, has he pwned his mother? Lately, this week, already. Has he pwned his mother? Lately, this week, already. Now continue another examples. For example, our friends have been to the supermarket. You may put here these words: horizontal, diagonal, vertical. Find 3 words in this row. After that, fit each gap. The next, I heard my husband shouting. They said, my colleague came to work after her accident. The first is we want to go on holiday. I have lost my temper. I have lost my temper. It will be your home task. Complete these sentences using these 3 words in a row or table. After that, fit each gap. Okay? It will be your home task. Now, returning to the questions with which we began. How can L1 knowledge be effectively used, harnessed in developing L2? Are most errors related to L1 interference? What are the areas of grammar knowledge different activities might combine or explore? How can we deepen understanding of language points across a course, across grades? Answer each question with another teacher using no more than 7 words for each answer. It will be your home task too. You must answer each question. And you may share with your colleague at school. The first. How can L1 knowledge be effectively used, harnessed in developing L2? The next. Are most errors related to L1 interference? The next. What are the areas of grammar knowledge different activities might combine, explore? Now the last question. How can we deepen understanding of language points across a course, across grades? Use no more than 7 words for each answer. Now the next, grammar and vocabulary teaching, presentation and the concept checking. It's high time, I think. No. I'll give 5 minutes, sorry. Grammar and vocabulary teaching, presentation and the concept checking. And now, questions are relating to assess in this session. How can we present grammar and the language points to learners without focusing on forms in texts? What are some of the key steps in inductive and deductive presentations? What type of the questions is it important to avoid in concept checking? Why is context so important in presenting language? Now concept presentation. The first and the second. Inductive and deductive approaches to presenting language. Now make a list of the many stages involved in this type of inductive presentation. Make a list of the many stages involved in this type of the deductive presentation. Here. Okay? It is concept presentation. First, make a list of the many stages involved in this type of the inductive presentation. So next, make a list of the many stages involved in this type of the deductive presentation. Now, write concept questions and their answers for each structure. Write a maximum of 3 questions for each structure. Sentence. I'm sorry, but I've lost my student card. Can I get another one? The next. When I was a child, I used to play the piano. When I was a child, I used to play the piano. He is working part-time at the moment and won't be here until later. He is working part-time at the moment and won't be here until later. I wish I had an iPod. I wish I had an iPod. I can't be John at the door. He's gone overseas. I can't be John at the door. He's gone overseas. Alright, a maximum of 3 questions for each structure. It will be your home task too. It's high time to break, I think. Now I have 2 minutes. I have 2 minutes. Research and devise a concept presentation. Take one of the target structures on the previous slide and prepare a short concept presentation with concept checking phrase to present to the class. Imagine a group of low intermediate learners A2, low B1. Okay? Research and devise a concept presentation. Again, a group of the low intermediate learners A2 and the low B1 levels. Now, I'll give you some wait 10 minutes for the break. 10 minutes. I'll give you 10 minutes. Now have a break, please. After that, we may continue our session. Okay? Oh, my learners. Now let's continue. It's high time to continue our session. Are you ready? Returning to our question, why is context so important in presenting language? Here are some answers to this question. It helps establish connections with what students know already. It is easier to generate meaningful and memorable examples of the language presented. Contexts are easier to animate with images and objects than abstractions. A repetition in context can be motivating and immersive. Learners can engage with context effectively, physically, and asymmetrically. Discuss these points with a reference to what you have seen and done in this session. Now, learner training techniques are recording language and using reference resources. Questions are relating essays in this session. How and where should learners record language points from class? How can teachers encourage, promote good recording habits? What should learners be encouraged to pay attention to in dictionaries? How can teachers promote independent learning strategies? Learner vocabulary notes. How might learners keep or store words? What can teachers do to encourage them to keep the right words together? Now, dictionary work. Compare these two different online dictionary entries for the verb agree. You see here link some. You may look through these links at home. Now, features that promote independent learning in multi-level classrooms. Extra sensitivity of grouping learners to ensure both separative mixed-level group dynamics and the grouping of learners to enable them to work on tasks at their own pace. Selection of materials and resources that are flexible in terms of how input can be assessed and outcomes achieved. Reliable means and instruments for assessing in an ongoing way most salient individual learner needs. Building up self-assessed resources both at a class and a school level. Development in learners of independent learning strategies. Adherence to English-only policies when working in small groups and the teacher is equipped with learners in other groups. Now, returning to our question, how can teachers promote independent learning strategies? Discuss with another teacher which areas of your teaching situation you could target to affect the biggest impact in this area. Okay? Now, practicing new language strategies, teacher rules. Questions relating to essays in this session. How do you categorize different forms of new language practices? What is the appropriate balance between presentation and practices? When and how should teachers intervene in such an activity? What kind of formative assessment or reflection opportunities do such activities give teachers? Teach rules in controlled practice. To model effectively. To prioritize accuracy but not sacrifice context. To drill where necessary. To engage attention of all learners. To use effective correction techniques. To optimize learner talking time. To vary input stimulus. To consolidate forms and the subpoints to board. Now teach a rule during prayer practice. Pace activity. Listening for errors in the target language. Listening to ensure that learners are on task. Micro-teaching to individuals or pairs who have clearly not grasped the target language. Adding input if learners cannot sustain output. Assessing the development of fluency. Assessing the task. Monitor to facilitate decision-making in terms of what to do next. Now, learner rules in prayer practice. To engage with others in English to develop fluency. To attempt to use the target language. To gently monitor themselves using the target language. To take risks and experiment with target language. To offer observations post-activity. Now, grammatical session. Try out this three-step approach to meaningfully integrate to use of words with grammar. Lexigrammar. Step 1. Situation. Step 2. Oral words. John leave. Jane arrive. Step 3. Context. John really fancies Jane, so changed his mind. John wants to avoid Jane. Whose story? Spot the person in the group whose story this actually is. Look for content clues. Look for credibility clues. Look for effective telling recall. And ask one penetrating question. Final thoughts of communicative tasks. Strive for value. Active listening. Have them doing. Multiforum. Require greater cognitive and effective engagement. Make it about them. Foreground context. Maintain and reach textual, pragmatic dimension. Now, returning to our question. What is an appropriate balance between presentation and practice? Now discuss yourselves what you feel. So optimism balance would look like in a 45-minute lesson. Discuss yourselves. It will be your home task too. We finish our this scene. Now let's continue with the activity a Music Man action songs.
Healthy music for a child's heart, body, and mind.
I Am the Music Man. From the CD Brain Breaks Action Songs, Let's Move by The Learning Station. I am the music man. I come from far away and I can play.
What can you play?
I play the piano. Pia, pia, piano, piano, piano. Pia, pia, piano, pia, piano. I am the music man. I come from far away and I can play.
What can you play?
I play the violin. Violin, 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 violin. Pia, pia, piano, piano, piano. Pia, pia, piano, pia, piano. I am the music man. I come from far away and I can play.
What can you play?
I play the saxophone. Saxo, saxo, saxophone, 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 saxo, saxo, saxophone, saxo, saxophone. Viol, viol, violin, 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 viol, viol, violin, viol, violin. Pia, pia, piano, 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 pia, pia, piano, pia, piano. I am the music man. I come from far away and I can play.
What can you play?
I play the big bass drum. Big bass, big bass, big bass drum. Big bass drum, big bass drum. Big bass, big bass, big bass drum. Big bass drum. Saxo, saxo, saxophone, saxophone, saxophone. Saxo, saxo, saxophone, saxo, saxophone. Viol, viol, violin, violin, violin. Viol, viol, violin, viol, violin. Pia, pia, piano, piano, piano. Pia, pia, piano, pia, piano. I am the music man. I come from far away and I can play.
What can you play?
Well, I can play everything. And here we go. Hit it! Play that piano. Play that violin. Play that saxophone. Play that big bass drum. Question time. What was your favorite instrument? Was it the piano, the violin, the saxophone, or the big bass drum? Please let us know in the comment section below. You can get I Am the Music Man.
Now let's continue our today's session. Now I want to show you some activities or strategies. Sorry. You see through this slide a variety of the activities, and I think, for example, brainstorming web you may use in your reading skills. So for example, you may write here all the facts in your practice when we're using reading skills, reading skills, sorry. Here concept or topic. You may write in your copybook, brainstorming verb. Brainstorming verb. Графикалар ғой. Графикалар. Жазып болдыңдар ма? Brainstorming verb. Now the next. Concept map. Concept map activity you may use in your all the skills, I think. For example, word, synonyms here, things that are like this, and antonyms. Using the strategy concept map you may use in your practice. When we are going to plan your short-term plan, you may choose, for example, concept map activity. Now do you remember? Concept map. It consists of word, synonyms, things that are like this, and antonyms. Now the next. The next. Decision-making chart or chart table. Decision-making chart or chart table. You may write here reasons for, question some, and your decision, and the reasons against. Now the third activity or strategy. Strategy, decision-making chart. How many chart? 1, 2, 3, 4. In the one chart there are 4 boxes. Now the next, graphic organizers. Graphic organizers. You see they are links. This collection of ready-to-use graphic organizers will help children classify ideas and communicate more effectively. All of our printable graphic organizers are designed to facilitate understanding of key concepts by allowing students to visually identify key points and areas. By using graphic organizers across all subject areas, you will be empowering your students to master subject matter faster and more efficiently. We have graphic organizers for reading, science, writing, math, and for general use. You'll also find blank printable templates like graph paper, dot arrows, and other useful tools. Now, for example, this graphic style, it is star. The next, spider. fish, bone, cloud, tree, chain, continuum, circle, clocks, flowchart, Venn diagram, chart matrix, pie chart, circle, graph, T-chart, Y-chart, PMI, KWHL, semantic feature analyze, cause and effect, compare and contrast, decision making, fact opinion, vocabulary, paragraph, visualization, main supporting ideas, 5 questions, for example, who, when, where, what, and why. Newspaper, character traits, story map, book report. In writing skills you may use story map, book report. Essay, for example, introduction, body, and the conclusion. It is beginning, middle, and end. Non-fiction book report, brainstorming charts, plants, animal report, geography report, Native Americans. Biography, astronomy report, math, scientific method. For example, hypothesis and conclusion. Here we see links of this strategies. You may photo. It is graphic organizers. You may use in your future planning. Now, the next. Map the character. For example, in reading skills, you may use this strategy, map the character. For example, right here, title of the book, traits, name of characters, who are they, for example, and evidence of the trait. Evidence of the trait. Now the next strategy. Problem solution chart. Now, for example, in reading, who is the main character in this topic, for example? Now, Peter is the main character in this topic, for example. Now, problem. What about this story, for example? Why? Now, solution. Solutions, right. The first and the second, and the results. And the end results. In conclusion. Now, for example, story map 2, setting, right here, carrots, conflict or problem, event 1, event 2, event 3, and the climax, and the resolution. Now, for example, setting where I live, story setting, scene, different. Once upon a time, story, and the setting, time and the place, you mean right here, main characters, problem, solution. Now books butterfly play. My definition, dictionary definition, word association and the word clue. Book butterfly. Now the next summary star. Summary star. Summary star. Summary star. One word for a new title. The next. 2 words about how it made you feel. Now, the third. 3 words to tell about the setting. Fourth, 4 words to state the problem. 5 words to tell about the conclusion. 8. The name is summary star. Summary star. Summary star. And the next it is Venn diagram. Venn diagram. You often use in your short-term plan, I see. Now, the last graphic organizer. Graphic organizer. You mean when your learners discuss, you may use these pictures. It names graphic organizer. Graphic organizer. Using these pictures, it describes so that. Now, for example, story map. I can read informational texts, event map, etc. You mean I can read informational texts, for example, title, 3 facts there, by name, illustration, key idea here, and the most interesting thing I learned, my opinion about this topic. The event map. What happened? Why was it important? When did it happen? This is event. How did it happen? Who was involved? Where did it happen? Using these questions, they answer these questions. After that, they complete here this event map. It is strategy. The story map. Characters, title, author, and the characters, setting, problem, and the solution. Story map. Title right here, author, and the characters, some characters, setting. Now what is problem in this topic? For example, 3 main events and the resolution. Now I have finished my session, today's session. Let's discuss. Now let's discuss. Let's discuss. What have you learned today? What have you learned today? Пока сіздер ойланып жатқан кезде мен сіздердің жаңағы берген комментарийларыңызды оқи берейін. What have you learned today? Так, Словая Батырова. I usually do this warm-up. I'm a music man with my children. It's so interesting for them. Yes, using this activity, your learners have learned all the verbs, all the academic verbs. They are moving, they are doing, and they are you develop their memory. This video is cool. Now Flora writes, it's so interesting for them. I do this warm-up in my primary schools. Now Laila Margin writes, thank you very much for telling us so much important information. Gulnara Disingali writes, there are plenty of strategies in teaching. They are so cognitive and interesting to use. The active process of teaching and learning motivate not only listeners but teachers either. Maybe. Now Slovaya Batyrova. This method approaches like concept map the character problem solution chart once upon a time, helps children to search on their own and think critically. I think you are right. Using these strategies, the workshop will be easier. Using this chart table, they think logically and critically, and using this chart, using these strategies, you develop their logical, critical thinking and speaking skills. Their speaking skills. Your learners may share experience using this chart. Slovaya Batyrova writes, and the Venn diagram is my often cognitive used method. Darigha Kuanova, I've learned about graphic organizers. Yes. About graphic organizers. Do you like it, these graphic organizers? Do you use in your practice? What graphic organizer do you use in your practice? Gulnara Disingali writes, 4 types of essays. Students must know how to write in order to learn various themes. We teach students to share own ideas and opinions. Gulsizm Saginova writes, we should follow the structure of an essay. Gulsizm Saginova, you're absolutely right. Alia Suinalieva asks the questions introduction, main body, and the conclusion. Aidana Karimova agree with me. Gulsizm Saginova have already been. Slovaya Batyrova writes, this method approaches like concept maps a character, Problem solution chart once upon a time helps children to search on their own and think critically, and I think. Слово Батырова writes, and the Venn diagram is my often cognitive used method. Now, do you like today's session? I'll give you a variety of the home tasks. Don't forget about it. Now, do you like today's session? What about your ideas for today's session? What have you learned? Gulnara Disingaleva, we use most of the strategies at the lessons. Of course, it depends of the level of students. Yes. Alias Yunaleva, thank you very much. So important information. Айдана Каримова, продуктивный урок прошел. Спасибо большое. Бүгінгі сабақты тыңдағандарыңызға ризасыздар ма? Мен ойлаймын, көп нәрсені үйрендіңдер деп та бүгінгі сабақ бойынша. Көптеген жаңағы. Gulnara Disinga writes, I like today's session. No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Бұл сабаққа мен осылай дайындалған болатынмын. Так, Айсура Гатауа writes, thank you for a helpful lesson. I'll use all the methods at the lessons. I'm glad. Айсура Гатауа. Дариға Қуанова. Venn diagram book, but really summary star, story map, event map helps to develop pupils' reading, writing skills, and they learn, share their ideas. Asil Жаумбаева, I really like today's session. Thank you. Thank you. Now, I have finished my today's session. Now, thank you for attention. Thank you for... We are to practice more than... Yes, we use practical workshops in our session. Так, құрметті менің әріптестерім, бүгін сабаққа қатысқандарың үшін рахмет айтамын. Және әдемі және маңызды комментарий жазғандарың үшін рахмет айтамын. Жаңа практикалық сабақтарда қатысып, сұрақтарға жауап бергендерің үшін рахмет айтамын. Және маған берген әдемі комментарийларыңыз үшін маған сондай бір мотивация бердіңдер. Сол үшін рахмет айтамын. Сендерді мен жақсы көремін. Ертең күтемін сағат 3-те. Дариға Қуанова writes, thank you for today's session. It's very useful. Өте қажетті, өте керекті дүние деп жатсыңдар. Рахмет барлықтарыңызға. Рахмет. Гульнара Дисингалиева, Дариға Қуанова, так, Айсура Гатауова, Гульнара Дисингалиева, Айдана Каримова, Алия Суиналиева, Так, Слувай Батырова. Слувай Батырова. Ләйлә Мажен. Так. Так. Хуй. Гүлсизім Сагинова. Мгм. Райхан Аслыбековна. Нуршат Нигмалова. Алия Суиналиева. Мгм. All the learners I say thank you. Now see you soon. See you soon. Bye bye. Mhm. 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 Thank you. Alia Suinalieva writes, I like listening to you. Thank you. Thank you. Now see you soon. Goodbye. Bye bye.